Hiya, it's Chatty, Chrissie. Cool, we're getting there, aren't we? We're nearly on our Christmas holidays. What do you think of my necklace? Cool, eh? So I can jingle jangle wherever I go. Well, we've got our present box again. Let's have a look inside and see what we've got. Oh, we've got 2 more times we're going to look in this present box together. First, my paper chain. Well, that is really growing. That's going to look fantastic on my wall. I've got 3 Christmas trees which spell joy. Cool. That's interesting. Oh, I love these. Got angel, Christmas, shepherd, star. Yeah. Yes, I love doing those. That's really fun. Oh, I was just thinking I need one of these. Now let's have a look. Oh, it's got a nice jewel on it. A crown. Yes. I think that works really well with my necklace. Interesting. It might be made out of gold, maybe. Smells beautiful. I wonder what that's for. And then lastly, oh yes, hooray, a star. Want something else? Some stickers for Christmas. So who are we meeting today? Well, who met Jesus? We had Zacchaeus, who was up a tree, who met Jesus. We had the boy who gave his fish and his bread, his lunch to Jesus. We've had Mary, the mother of Jesus. We've had the shepherds. And today, big clue, we're going to have the wise men. Well, to be honest, Jesus was probably about 2 or 3 when the wise men actually went to see him. But they were people who were doing their jobs. At night, they would look at the stars and they would follow them and they would see what the stars were saying. Have you ever been out at night and you can make Orion's belt? You can find the bear. You can make lots of different things from the stars. It's brilliant to do. And they were watching and they suddenly saw something different. So they got on their camels, who were really grumpy. I've ridden on a camel. They are so grumpy and uncomfortable. It's untrue. And they followed the star until it brought them to where Jesus was. Now, we don't actually know how many wise men there were. In all our nativity plays, we have 3. Because we're told about 3 gifts. But we don't know. Maybe there were many and they just bought 3 gifts. Or maybe there were many and they bought many gifts and we're just told about the 3 gifts. We don't know. But one thing we do know, they bought gold. Now gold, all the gifts symbolise something. Very cool. So usually we have gifts that we want to play with now. But these gifts were there to inform everybody who Jesus was. And that's just incredible. This little person, these gifts were there as a symbol of what he was, he is, and what he was going to do. Strange, but fantastic. So first of all, there was gold. Now, if you go to the Bank of England in London, downstairs, there's a big room, a vault, and you can go in and there's a glass box and in it is like a brick, a glass brick. And this brick is made out of gold and you put your hands in and it's completely alarmed and you have to try and lift the gold and guess how heavy it is. Obviously you can't take it out. It's completely alarmed. The whole thing's alarmed. Your arms go in, but it's heavy. And we tried it and we couldn't even lift it. A gold brick. Now that gold was there to be a symbol that Jesus, even though he was a young person, was going to be the king. Because a king is somebody who rules. And Jesus died and came back to life again because he wants to be the person who's ruling or helping us in our hearts. So he's king. Fantastic. And because he also made the world, he's king over the world as well, which is pretty cool too. Then there's frankincense and myrrh. And one of them, myrrh, was used when somebody died. You'd put myrrh on a body in the olden times to stop it smelling. And so it was like a perfume. And so that was to symbolise we have Christmas, but we would also have Easter when Jesus died and came back to life again. So that's very cool. But then we've got frankincense. Now I was reading about that. There's a tree and you cut the bark a little bit, and this resin comes out, and it's frankincense, and it's found in northern Kenya and also in the Middle East. And that is also a special like perfume which was to symbolize that Jesus is God. And so I wonder, I don't know, do you think the kings already knew that this was what they were bringing and this is what it symbolized? I doubt it somehow. They were just obeying. And something I find wonderful, I love about God, sometimes when we obey, then after something happens, even many years after, we can see that God had a plan. I've seen that in my own life. Sometimes I've done things and I think, what did I do that for? It seemed like the right thing to do. And then afterwards, you find out that actually it was all part of God's plan. So there's gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And we've got our special memory verse today, haven't we? So we've got trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on what you know. In all your ways acknowledge him. And then the last bit, he will show you what to do. So I've got it written out here for us. And then the kings, they proved that God, he showed them what to do. So trust in the Lord, that's the orange. Blue, with all your heart. Yellow, don't lean on what you know. Silver, in all your ways acknowledge him. And then we've got pink, and he will show you what to do. The wise men, they were just doing their normal jobs, and God showed them what to do. And because they followed the star, because they obeyed, wow, it led them to where Jesus was. They were able to present him with gifts. They saw Jesus. They could have just been like, no, another star, no, I can't be bothered with that. But they obeyed and they followed, and they were shown what to do. And we can do that as well. Even though we're young, I'm not so young, unfortunately, God shows us what to do. And if we obey, he promises that he'll be with us. If we trust him, he promises he will help us. And we can trust him to protect us. We can trust him when we're sad. We can trust him when we don't know what's happening. We can trust him when we think actually Christmas is really tough, juggling my families, my friends. It's hard. And God has promised he will be there with us. Oh, I love that. So today your homework is to make one of these fidgy bits, which I love, I must say. The inside I've got a donkey, an angel, or a king, and a shepherd. Cool. And also, the kings were very joyful, the wise men, because they had met Jesus. And so you're going to have some Christmas trees you can decorate. And then if you want to, you can put a hole in them and hang them up on your Christmas tree. They would look quite nice, wouldn't they? Dangling down on your Christmas tree. Well, next week we have another Chatty Chrissie. And then we're going to have a very special one for Christmas Day. Hooray! Something incredibly special. And so it's going to come out on YouTube, but it's also going to be on a DVD. So that then when you get your food parcels, we can also watch something incredibly special for Christmas Day. Bye!